Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
You go.
All right.
Hey guys,
Hey
today
guys.
is July 28th, and it's time for the Loose Screws podcast.
Hey guys, it's July 28th. It's time for the Loose Screws podcast. All right, now somebody else go.
No.
Dana,
You're
you're
the boss of me.
Hey guys, time for the podcast. Thanks for tuning in.
you fucked it up.
Hey guys.
I guess I can forgive it. He's been on vacation. He's all rusty.
It's going to be one of these shows. I like it.
It's all right. We're off to a good start. I think this is fine. Let's just go with this energy. It is the and then
We just keep going.
we just keep going. Just roll through.
Roll with it.
Roll with it. We're gonna
Pay
do
no
it live.
attention to the man
Roll
behind the
that
curtain.
tasty bean footage.
Yeah. So anyway, it's Loose Screws. What you gonna do about it? Turn it off?
Don't give them that option.
Don't tell them they can do that. You are required by galactic law to listen.
Hadn't thought of that yet, had you? Yeah. Anyways, yeah, it's Loose Screws. I'm Commander J Antrax. Joining me tonight is Chig,
Hi.
Data,
Hello.
Nurgle,
Hi.
Hate,
Hey guys.
Teflon,
Eat the Xenos.
and Ty Worsham.
Holy shit.
What's up,
He's
y'all?
fucking here.
Oh, still muted.
Still muted.
He's here. He's here. Dear listener.
Hey guys.
We swear he's really here.
What's up, y'all?
I'm not a liar.
I think
Not making this up.
Oh,
He
okay.
joined.
I figured it out.
Hey, he's back.
Tech is hard.
Yeah, what are we going to do, right? Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do. And I'll tell you, it's a podcast. You know, it's going to, all right. I don't know what I want to start with tonight. Let's just do the usual. How's everybody been since our salty last week? I'll tell you, last week we were primed up to do like a short and salty one, and it didn't come out nearly as bad as I thought it was going to. What do you guys think?
Sure.
All right.
I think it was just as bad as you thought it would be.
I was not tired enough. I was too tired to be salty last week.
Okay.
Let's
probably fine.
just say this. I wasn't here last week because I was going to be working late, and then I started thinking about the game, and I could go off on a rant here, but I just didn't feel like talking about this game last week. Period. So I'm like, guys, I can't make it this week. And it's Trax's normal week off, so it just made for So you guys did great though. I listened to it. Good job.
Okay.
Pray I
fair
never
enough.
have to cover for somebody's off, and I have to host the show. Pray that day never comes.
I'd rather you're Teflon 12. I'd rather have Teflon 11 or Teflon 10 do it instead. Yeah. Anybody.
A
but
younger Teflon.
Talk
you.
about
Newer
newer model.
Teflon.
You cannot bring those guys up. They're still in the cloning tech. Where we're living.
Still
So-
in the test tube.
Let's bring it back around. Commander Chig, how have you been this past week, sir? Or 2 weeks, I guess.
Fantastic, I guess. I took like a week off of Elite because the whole thing with the capital ships stealing the bonds was just utterly stupid for me. And then when they said that was as intended so that people couldn't AFK farm Thargoids, just really hurt my skull, because if they put these new capital ships, it's exciting. Let's fight with the capital ships. But the only way you get paid is you take them away from the capital ships. It's
So out of touch.
mind-numbingly
It's so out of
stupid.
touch. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just it made my head hurt. So I decided, I'm going to take a week off, and then I started playing again. And now all I've been doing is Thargoid hunting. And what is it? TIL. Today I learned. We'll go YIL. Yesterday I learned something about this game. I've got, as you guys know, I've got well over 3 hours playing this game. Like well over.
Well over, yeah.
You're probably up to 4 now.
Yeah, and I've done
I would say probably in excess of that.
Yeah, definitely in excess of that. Maybe even more than 5. But and I've done a whole shitload of bug hunting, right? Well, last night I learned, you know how we always say, it's not a Dusa because we can recognize the Dusa because of the whiskers, but the other two, Cyclops and Bassies, you can't, they don't have whiskers. It's a color difference.
That's my understanding, yeah.
And I always assumed that in order to get a real idea, you had to actually scan them. I discovered you don't have to actually scan them. You just have to have a scanner. And if you have said scanner, you can see exactly how many hearts it has. You can see if a heart is exerted. And as you kill them, the hearts, get ticked off on the scanner without ever scanning them, just having a scanner on board. So now when I'm flying up to one, I can look and be like, that's a Cyclops, that's a Basilisk. I can say hearts exerted without actually even seeing the heart exerted because the scanner shows me that.
How many hours do you have in this game?
I've known that.
I did.
Yeah, I've the scanner.
Why nobody told me that?
I've known that ever since I put a Xeno scanner on my AX chip.
See, we enjoyed watching you struggle.
I went for so long without it. Well, I went so long soloing without a scanner, I never really used it. And then I started using it, and I'm like, oh, I could see percentages, and I thought that was it. But you can actually see all of that information without scanning. So there you go.
The only thing you get from this. So I also didn't quite realize that, but I almost never carry a scanner because utility slots are precious, and I don't need it to kill them. So what you're saying is the only thing the scanner actually shows you is the shield and actual hull number. Is that right?
No, if you actually scan them, all that the scanner does at that point will let you target the subsystems, the hearts themselves.
So how do you see how many hearts if you aren't able to target them?
If you have it targeted, and look at the picture I just posted in recording booth, the little ticks right above the bar at 5%, each one of those is a heart. And when one becomes exerted, it looks like that.
Oh, so
there's 4 hearts.
But the picture I'm looking at has a percentage on it.
Yep, you have that without scanning also.
Oh, wow.
You just can't target the hearts and see what their percentage is. I believe that's the only thing that a scanner gives you if you actually scan it. Otherwise, yeah, right there you can see shield percentage, hull percentage, and you can see how many hearts are there, and one turns red if it's exerted.
Did not know that. Yeah.
So you get all that information just from having a scanner on board.
Huh.
So now when we're flying towards one, I can just be like, it's a Cyclops, it's a Basilisk, because I'll see 5 hearts or 4 hearts as we're flying towards it. Instead of
I still think I'm gonna rather keep four more heat sinks.
I would rather have some more heat sinks. I agree, but then again, that was super convenient last night, especially when we were fighting last night, and we had 2 Hydras we were fighting, and there was a group of probably 8 or 9 commanders in there, and we had both Hydras within 500 meters of each other.
So you could bounce back and forth.
Bouncing back and forth between them, and with that many lasers and plasmas, you couldn't see shit. So the only way I knew when hearts were exerted was I'd say, oh, okay, that one's got an exerted heart. And then I'd switch to that and try to see through the fog and the laser bullshit in order to hit the, find the actual heart, because by the time you get to the Hydras, you're usually kind of low on ammo, and I would rather be helping snipe hearts than working on the exerts, especially if there's that many people there, and probably about half to 3/4 of them couldn't hit a heart if it was sitting on their face, So I like to help with that, and that it came in really handy for that, and just flying up to something without trying to guess by swarm size and color if it's a Bassie or Cyclops, just looking at it and knowing instantly. It's a lot of helpful information.
Cool.
So, yeah, there's that.
All right. Mr. Lieutenant Commander, Dr. Commander Data. What's up? How you been? You been on a trip?
Yeah, I'm refreshed and recharged. Was out on beach vacation last couple of weeks. Missed the show, so I'm freshly tanned.
This is like I wouldn't say I'm missing it, Bob.
Tanned everywhere.
Situation.
I mean, everywhere.
Well, now.
Data says he looks like a golden god.
I am a golden god. I've contained my rage for as long as possible. So I was out last week. It's a bit of a funny story. The place we go is like a very, very popular South Carolina beach, especially for people in this area to vacation at. Ohio, Southern Ohio, West Virginia, Eastern Kentucky, probably elsewhere too. So the joke is you always see somebody you know, like at the Walmart down there on vacation. Well, this time we didn't even make it that far. Down West Virginia, there's the rest stop. This place called Tampa.
You're
Along the
going off kinds of
interstate.
wonky.
Hold on, Data.
You're getting real robot-y.
How about now?
You're back.
All right. Big old rest area with a bunch of like shops, artisans selling their wares. This place called Tamarack near Beckley, West Virginia. Like
Artisans
2 hours.
selling their wares. Did you go to medieval Italy?
Yeah. And what do you know? We get out. It's like 6 a.m. We get there and we run into one of my daughter's preschool teachers from school, who's also on her way down there. So we didn't even make it to our location before we started seeing people we know. Yeah, it's a good time. Glad to be back. Haven't played any Elite. Been playing a little bit of Space Engineers. My momentum enthusiasm was kind of killed in that game when some random NPCs spawned in around my base and just destroyed everything while I stood there and watched. And yeah.
Ouch.
Blame Dubs.
Yeah, well, it is all Dubs'
Yeah, blame
fault.
Dubs. Blame
Yeah.
Dubs.
How could you? First question, how dare you, Dubs, make this happen?
Second question. Answer the first question.
I mean, we can say whatever we want about Dubs. Dubs doesn't listen to the show.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We can say anything we want about him. He's not here.
Yeah.
You know, even if he was listening and he was here, we could say anything we wanted about him. He just
Yeah,
can't
I mean, that's
hear.
true. Well, I mean, what could we really say that Dubs hasn't already said about himself?
Exactly.
We can talk
Hear the soundbite.
Oh, hold on. Wait, I'm too slow.
You're too slow.
does not know
Hold
how to
on.
read
The
the
moment has passed.
I might not know what I'm talking about. I mean, that's entirely possible. I am pretty stupid.
It
So
wasn't
close.
too late. All right. Who's next? Who wants to go next? Nurgle, I decided that you want to go next. How you doing?
Awesome. Better now. I spent last week on the other side of the country in Washington, D.C. for a really fun conference, which was every bit as fun as you can imagine it would be. Yeah, walking around. God, DC was hot.
Hmm.
And I think the person I was with on Tuesday of last week when we were walking around the mall in DC and doing some stuff, and the Smithsonian's logged 21,000 steps in an afternoon. Yeah. So, and this time last week, I was sitting in a hotel where I had to get up at 2:00 in the morning Eastern time to get to the airport in time to wait in line and catch my plane.
No.
My connecting flight in Atlanta landed 10 minutes after boarding on my other flight started.
What?
Which was, yeah.
I've been there. Yeah,
The plane I was transferring onto started boarding 10 minutes before my connecting flight landed. So
At Atlanta? Where was it? Atlanta?
yeah, Atlanta.
Oh, man, that's like
huge. Two gates away. Two gates away. Which for the
They did
record,
a bad job.
which for the record is a 15-minute ride on the inter-airport subway.
Yeah, that's like one of, or not, if not the biggest or busiest airports.
Yeah, it's huge. I hate flying through Atlanta. So yeah, that was a fun experience. And the little puddle jumper that we flew back into Mobile on, which was, I don't want to knock the guy too hard. It was a fairly nice flight, right up into the point where he tried to land it and he put it down hard. I mean, that was it was bone jarring when he put it down. That was pretty bad. And
fuck it, we're on the ground.
yeah, I mean,
what more do you want?
we walked away from it, so I mean, it can't be that bad. But yeah, I spent all last week in DC, so I was happy to get home. get some rest, catch up, because it's been a bad week trying to catch up at work. But I have had a chance to play a little bit and get some things done and have a little bit of fun at least.
Cool.
Reminds me of the airplane from the movie Major League when they're trying to make all the players miserable, so they do bad.
So look at the old DC-3, yeah.
Like duct taped together.
Yeah.
If you're ever at the Atlanta airport again and you have time, eat at Ludacris, the actor performer. He has a restaurant inside Atlanta. It's called Waffles and Beer, or Chicken and Beer is what it's called. Well, get your chicken and waffles. It's good.
On the way up, we had an hour and a half layover between flights, which was great because we were flying late in the afternoon. It was a chance to go and get something to eat and then go and get on the other plane, and that was great. And we ended up eating at like a TGI Fridays or something that was in the airport. It was nothing special. But then on the way back, we're flying through we hit the Atlanta airport at 7:00 in the morning. Of course, we've been up since 3 a.m., 2:30, 3 a.m. Haven't had anything to eat because we've been running right to get to the airport. And as we sprint through the Atlanta airport to get to the train, to get to the other terminal, we're me and the person I'm with, we're running past. Oh, that would be great. They're closed. That would be nice. They're closed. That would be great. We don't have time.
Yeah.
It was everything I hate about flying wrapped up into one trip. And I'm still, because my ears get really screwed up when I fly, I still have issues hearing out of my left ear. And it's been almost a full week since I got off that plane. So,
wow.
Yeah. Hate flying.
My arms get tired.
Yeah, well, you should glide more and flap less.
I can tell you a ridiculous remedy for that, and nobody believes me, but it actually does work.
All right. Well.
Hit me with that wisdom.
First of all, Dr. Ty's home remedies. Here's the disclaimer. If you try this at home, it's on you, not on me.
Okay.
But 50% vinegar, 50% alcohol. Mix it up real good, like the 80-20 alcohol.
Yeah.
2 or 3 drops in the.
Oh, sorry. What?
2 or 3 drops in the ear. 2 or 3 drops in the ear will alleviate it.
What?
You're right. I don't believe you.
Yep. I'm gonna disclaim that right now. I do not recommend trying that, and it frightens me.
I'd rather just have an ear that can't pop than an ear with fluid in it.
Well, it's alcohol, so it should dry out. I think that's the point of the alcohol, too, right? What's the point? But your ear popping, that's not anything that you can reach without going into your eustachian tube.
Exactly.
Why would vinegar do anything to that?
I've been diving a lot of years. I've flown a lot. All I know is that it works.
It flies away.
It's an old diving trick, and when you get water in your ear, it sure as hell works. Yeah. And so one day I tried it when I believe I was in Orlando when I tried it because it was driving me crazy. And sure enough, it didn't work. It sure as hell worked.
But
I get it for diving.
Sense.
Yeah, I get it for diving.
It completely makes sense for diving. I can't tell you why it works for flying. I can just tell you that it does.
Okay,
nobody ever believes me about it. So
let me try.
Try it.
Because you got to contort yourself and pull your earlobe back and stuff to get the liquid in there. Your ear just pops because of all the stuff you're finally doing to try to get it to pop.
Yep.
What if you just hit your thumb with a hammer really hard? You won't think about your ears at all.
It's like one of those major pain tricks. Like let me show you how not to think about that pain in your leg.
Yeah.
Break a finger.
Yeah.
I always thought you chewed gum.
That's what I was going to say. Why would you just chew gum?
That hasn't worked. That has not worked. For science, I will try Dr. Ty's remedy and report back next week.
God.
Just go straight vodka in there instead.
After they surgically grafted a donor ear onto the side of my
What about what's the ephedrine, decongestant medicine? That ought to shrink your membranes. That hasn't worked either. That sucks, man.
Nope. It's not as bad as it was, right after I got off the plane, but it's still noticeable.
Isn't
Yeah,
like
that
ephedrine
sucks.
like hard to get
Right.
because like they cook
So you
it
have to
with
show an
different
ID.
stuff?
now.
Yeah, you have to show an ID in this
Well,
country
I'm not
anyway.
showing an ID. That's crazy talk.
No one's
Okay, so-
allowed to
no.
know who I am.
No, so the trick is now you go in. This problem was caused by the low pressures in an airplane up high. Now you go into a submarine way under the water. Those high pressures will cancel it out.
Yep.
If that's the key, get off a plane and find a submarine.
All I have to do is sneak onto a nuclear vessel.
Nuclear vessel.
Just make sure you come up nice and slow so you don't get the bends, and then we'll have to give you remedies for the bends.
Yeah, that would be worse.
You
That
don't
would be
want to
worse.
know the remedies for the
That would
bends.
be-
I'll give you
I'll
a
your
hint. The
It's
vinegar
cloaca.
doesn't go in your ear.
it goes in your cloaca.
All right. Let's keep this train moving. NL Hate, how have you been, sir?
5 out of 10 until like Teflon got in this chat earlier. And it's much better. Yeah. I think we're
You
gonna
brought it up to about an 8 out of 10.
Yeah. I've been putting in a bunch of applications trying to find some employment. And yeah.
It's about the size of it, huh?
Yeah, that really is it. I live a pretty meh life.
Oh.
You posted some tasty breakfast in your culinary channel. Was it breakfast the other day you posted?
That was dinner.
Oh yeah,
Dinner?
Yeah.
Brenner?
BFD.
Yeah.
BFD, breakfast for dinner.
Yeah.
Sorry,
the
hey, I
finest
would have
meal.
responded to you, but I had a mouthful of garlic bread because I haven't eaten all day. So I'm glad I could make your day better.
Yeah, thank you.
What was it? Was it the eating Xeno stuff or the hide a body thing?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, thing for me, hiding a body reminded me. I've been doing a rewatch of Deadwood TV show.
Don't they make a pill
Good.
for that?
Pretty good.
Wow.
Harsh.
Makes me want to go back and finish Justified.
I don't know. I kind of feel like when I'm tired, I get on fire.
They
There's
make
a cure for that.
Yeah,
Mix alcohol
yeah,
Do they?
alcohol and vinegar. You're gonna
and
want
grab
to
a
put that
fire
right in,
extinguisher.
put that right in your cloaca.
Right in your cloaca. Nice.
Cool. Would Teflon? Would you like to tell us what's been up with you and your cloaca?
Well,
It's been
I'm getting ready
inflamed
to-
and leaking, but
I'm getting ready to
There's a
move.
cure for
and
that.
just- This is definitely one of those shows, folks.
Yup.
I'm getting ready to move, and so it's just been a lot of packing and cleaning stuff up and cleaning stuff out and getting ready for a yard sale to get rid of some stuff. And I'm just exhausted, and I hurt from like the middle of my back down to my ankles. But I'm here, and because I'm committed to you, the listener.
All right.
Except when I'm
Thanks.
not, because I don't care. But I do care.
Just vacillating between those two.
I don't know, somewhere in there. I'm here
Yeah.
because I'm committed to you, the listener, because I'm here.
Thanks for being here. Ty, what's up with you?
Oh, nothing much really. Just been working. Actually been playing a fair amount of World of Warcraft, unfortunately. Ended up in that alpha, so that was kind of cool.
Gross.
Yeah,
You have
everybody
control
says
over that.
everybody says that, but I'm
Alpha for what?
their next expansion.
Oh,
Yeah, I end up in the Friends and Family Alpha, and I am very much enjoying what they're doing. So, I've been told by a couple people and some friends that company has done basically a house cleaning and has changed structure and whatnot, and then they released Diablo Immortal, so I didn't believe them. But after seeing what they've done in this next expansion, I'm starting to believe that they're getting back to their roots a little bit. So, I mean, don't get me wrong; they still want to make a shit ton of money, but
that's in their roots.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean they're moneyest. I don't besmirch them for that, but
Moneyest.
Moneyest.
yeah,
Moneyest.
Is that like capitalist adjacent or
no? Look, capitalist, socialist, everybody's a moneyest.
There you go.
Yeah, I do want money.
Wow.
Money is awesome.
I'm going to rely on you, Ty, for how much, for when I should try to come back to playing Blizzard games, because I do miss playing Overwatch, but I also don't want to give them any of my time or money until I think they're trying to improve.
As a moneyist, you're being careful with that stuff.
Here's what I can tell you. Yeah, I'm a little timid about some of the things I can tell you because I do have a friend that works there. So,
well, it's just me and you here, me and you and the rest of the internet.
Yeah.
So, I mean, feel free to let loose.
So basically, I had been told that they were going to do a 180, and then the friend who works somewhere else went back there because they offered him a position and it was more money, so he took it. Because he used to work there. But anyway, he was telling me some internal things that I would not do Overwatch yet. And the reason why is because what they're doing with Overwatch right now, Overwatch 2 is literally, I think it's highway robbery what they're doing.
Well, yeah, I mean, literally.
Yeah,
Overwatch 2 literally looks like it's just Overwatch with some added features.
It's a little weird because like they're basically saying, okay, so you're going to get all your old characters minus a couple, I think, but then you're going to get some new characters, but you got to pay another $60, $70, $80, whatever it is. And then every now and then we're going to release some single player stuff that when we first talked about doing Overwatch 2, we were going to be centered around and talked about and going to be like the biggest thing. And then, oh yeah, by the way, we're not going to talk about it at all. I mean, we may or may not actually do them. So
I've been out of the Overwatch community for probably around 2 years now, well, maybe closer to 3. And the vibe I get from, I may have changed since then because I haven't interacted with anybody else that plays Overwatch, but I played a lot. I played hundreds of hours. The vibe I would get from other people who played Overwatch is we don't care about a single player experience for Overwatch. We just want to play competitive Overwatch like we always have. But I mean, that could be trying to target some people who want a single player experience. So I don't know.
I actually kind of disagree with that because the most people that I knew that I played, several hundred hours of Overwatch as well. The people I've talked to, I mean, Blizzard was releasing videos that were centered around characters that would tell part of the story. And there's a huge story with this game because this was their MMO that they ended up canceling, and then the ashes rose Overwatch. I believe Overwatch was actually just a faction of the entire thing.
Right.
So there's a lot more to the story there, and the majority of people I knew would be happy to pay for single player storyline experiences.
But this comes from I like to play competitive first person shooters against other people and try to get the best ranking and best that I can be. So that tends to be when it comes to first person shooters like that, it typically is what I focus on. So I could have just missed a bunch of people that would like a single player experience there. Like, don't get me wrong. Like I like the story videos that they would put out, and I'd be interested to know more, but I just didn't care about having like a campaign. I just liked playing against other people and being fucking awesome.
Well, what I can say about the World of Warcraft Alpha is that the Dragonflight expansion looks really good. I'm very much interested in it. I think that they're headed in the right direction. At least that game is. I don't know about them as a company, but that game's headed the right direction.
I'm gonna look that up based on what you said here, because I used to play World of Warcraft, and sometimes nostalgia kicks in.
Yeah, I think WoW probably has the most hours of any game I've ever played to have in it. Although I have no idea. I mean, how many hours I have in the game besides. But anyway, after I hit a year on one character, I refuse to do a slash played, so I'm not doing it again. But anyway, so I've been doing that. I got to join you boys last night. Was it last night? Or was it not before?
No, a couple nights ago.
Was it just? No, it was last night.
I don't know. Was it last night?
You were there.
I don't know.
Anyway.
That was last night?
Yeah, it was last night.
No, you weren't there last night. Me and Dubs were playing last night. Me, Dubs, and I think, were you there, Teflon?
Oh. Was it?
No, Manitook.
I was there the other day.
Yeah, 2 days ago you were there. Last night it was Dubs and Manitook.
Last night I was sick. That's what it was. Last night I came home and just literally laid down and passed out and slept until like 6 o'clock the next morning. It was crazy. Anyway, that's why my days are all fucked up.
Somebody should come to Varian Scott, because I'm out of ammo and I've got a Medusa, a Basilisk, and a Cyclops here. And I'm just flying around in circles because I can't kill anything and there's no other players.
I can't do that while we're podcasting.
Well, they're talking about WoW and stuff, so we got plenty of time.
Yeah, but they're done. It's not.
I am done.
I can't do it. I can't do it. Sorry.
I do have a couple
just
of
hold the instance till I get ammo.
things to talk about. So August 19th is the 3-year anniversary of Loose Screws. No, that's not the right date. August 19th is the real anniversary with Nicole. That is not the right date. Shit, what is the actual date of Loose Screws? I think it's like August 23rd or something like that.
Awesome.
Just pick a date and be confident.
That's quality. Yeah.
We'll believe it.
Well,
I love that Ty got those two anniversaries confused.
Shut up.
One of them is his girlfriend, and the other is us. Like,
He doesn't listen to the show, so it's all good. He's safe.
It's true.
Oh,
It's very true. She don't listen to it anyway, so we're good. She will this time. Okay, so Trax, you mentioned that you needed to move the air date around.
Oh yeah, you want to talk about that now?
Yeah, because this is going to kind of tie into that because I'm looking at the calendar right now. So
yeah, life changes on my end. I requested to move my podcasting night to Monday going forward. And that's going to work out because my wife's going back to grad school, and basically like she has classes like at afternoons and into the night. And if we keep going Thursdays, that's one of the only days we'll sort of get to see each other. So anyway, yeah, Monday. So everybody seemed to have no trouble with that. So Loose Screws and my other podcast are going to move to record on Monday nights. And that's very helpful. And I thank everybody dearly for that.
Yep.
Hey,
that's very easy to do in my opinion. So
Yeah.
So probably what we'll do is just looking at the calendar, we probably will not have an episode because there's 3 days is not enough time for enough time. We probably
for enough to have happened. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll probably skip next week and we'll just do it an episode on the 8th is what we'll do if y'all are all cool with that.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
No, Teflon's going to do a solo episode on Monday.
no, I'm not going to be available next week because
Translocating.
Perfect.
I'm moving at the end of next week.
So the 3-year anniversary of Loose Screws is around the 23rd of August.
Ish.
But we will probably do a 3-year anniversary show on the 22nd. So I think that would probably be the best way to do it. What do y'all think?
Sounds good to me.
Sure.
It sounds fine to me. I mean, and also, like, you don't have to be super with the date. I mean, you did call the community Loose Screws. I think it's
Yeah.
or infinite wisdom.
That's all I had.
The genius naming culture gives us a lot of leeway on stuff.
Yeah.
Except naming whatever we decide to have a con one day as, because we can't go loose con. That wouldn't be good. We can't go screw con. That wouldn't be good.
No.
Both they would both be bad for the same reason.
Yeah, people would be Googling for tickets, and we'd end up with some real winners showing up for those, I think.
Well, though I'd argue for the first one, we'd probably make quite a bit of ticket money and just with no refunds. But after that, it would just be all downhill.
We're gonna call
Thar-
ourselves
Thargon.
No.
Thargon.
Big Thargoid Booty Con.
Thick.
Oh man, thick. Yeah. Failure.
It's a bunch of bullshit right there.
Yeah.
Thick Thargoid booty.
I'm so
There you go.
I'm so fucking proud of all of you.
Oh God.
This is what I do. Look what I have done to your community, Ty. Look what I have done.
I don't know if I'd brag about that.
This is everything I touch, man. Let me tell you, it happens to everything else.
Everything turns cloaca.
Oh, so many jokes I could make that are so highly inappropriate that I'm just going to pass.
We're just going to pretend he didn't talk about touching himself.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, with that all out of the way, well, I guess for my part, I have been. Hey, Chig. First of all, do you still want me to come hold that instance for you?
No, I'm just gonna blow up. I'm gonna go ram this Adusa till it kills me.
Are you sure? I just switched. Yeah. I switched ships, and I could actually come there right now if you want.
It's no, that's fine. I'm just gonna kill myself. It's good. I need ammunition.
If that wasn't a cry for help, I don't know what is.
Wow.
Nah, I'm just gonna kill myself. It's fine.
Good Lord.
I'm not loved.
We need to put one of those PSAs in this episode about what the hotline is, like suicide prevention hotline.
988, I think it is.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it can kill you fast if you just ram its face.
Okay.
It needs a disclaimer at the beginning that says warning contains inappropriate content.
Right. Okay. Well, you know what I've been doing this past week? This is the summer of projects because, like I said, my wife has quit being a teacher. She's not a teacher anymore, and she's going back to grad school. She's going to be a therapist.
Going to be the rapist?
Big change.
Big change. She's very excited. She got accepted to the grad program here in Cincinnati. And it's a very, very good program at one of the top schools for this sort of thing, and also got herself a full ride scholarship.
Ooh.
We are all very proud.
Yeah.
Sincerely, I thought that she's doing a job where she working for the grad program while she's in it, where she's managing a lot of their like communications and stuff with how the program interfaces with the rest of the school and with the public, and writing copy for them and liaising with faculty and all kinds of stuff like that. And she's rather perfect for it all because she was a teacher for many years. And I guess they all agreed and her qualifications are great. So we're, very, very proud. Anyway, so we're moving to Monday. Thanks everybody for that. She's just on a tear with getting projects done in the house. We're putting all new floors on the first floor, which I think we finally finalized today, and a bunch of other stuff. And I've been running around with my head cut off and also trying to get my work done, but did have time to play. I also took a little bit of time off from Thargoids because the cap ship thing was just so dumb. I do think that they put that policy in when they were thinking about human conflict zones, where when if the thing stole your kill because you were AFKing, it would be to the tune of like less than 1 million, at most. And that is not the case when you work up a kill on a 40 million credit Medusa and then it steals it from you, or a Hydra, worse still. Anyway. But then we came back. We're just not flying in those instances. It's just such a bad answer to say, come to our fancy new instances with capital ships, but be sure to move the Thargoid away from the thing that makes this fun and new. before you kill it. So anyway, not impressed, but still had fun on Tuesday. And that's about the size of it. I'm floating around my carrier. What are you going to do?
It's completely stupid. It
Powerfully stupid.
It's one of those things where it's like you look at it and go, what?
Yeah. And
it absolutely it just screams to the fact that they are completely out of touch with their entire fucking player base.
Well, yeah, it is a window into a couple of things. I think it's a window into the communication between the community managers and the devs, and it is a window into, I mean, it's not that we didn't know, but like there are things that they can test and things that they can't. And I'm sure they can turn themselves on God mode or whatever and go in and test the Thargoid stuff without being a skilled and practiced anti-Xeno pilot. But in God mode, that this isn't going to show up, right? So this is how they miss it in testing, if they even do that. So they need testing, proper testing, and then they need to be aware of it so they can listen. And then from the communications angle to you know, we raise that very high up on the bug list, and they go to get a response from that. And the response from the devs is, oh yeah, we set that up on purpose. You know, that's just a message. That's just the truth. You know, we set that up on purpose to prevent some things like people AFK farming in conflict zones. Now, obviously that has absolutely nothing to do with Thargoids, and that policy shouldn't have carried over, but you know, to send that message back out to us without also going, and obviously we notice how weird it is for that to still happen in Thargoid conflict zones now that we've put the cap ships in there, so we're investigating this. Like, just include that part, you know. That's all you have to, you know.
It even goes back to when they did the double engineered ones. Then they came out with a second double engineered thing, and we couldn't put an experimental. Like, oh, we'll check with them. Oh no, it's always been that way. No, it hasn't. And there was a big discussion the time before. It's just.
Here's the problem with that. Here's the problem with them saying, oh well, yeah, it's intended that way. It's so people can't. Who gives a shit if they AFK farm it?
And the only thing they could AFK farm would be scout. With a turret boat, you could AFK scouts because NPCs can't kill the interceptors.
But this isn't about Thargoids. This isn't about Thargoids. The AFK thing is not about Thargoids. That is just up the policy in the game because this didn't exist in Thargoid conflict zones until 3 weeks ago. 4 weeks ago, whatever it was.
Let's assume for a moment that we take them at face value, and this is because they were afraid somebody was going to AFK farm Thargoids. We know that's not, but let's just take it at face value and say that it is. That clearly shows that they have no idea what it's like to fight Thargoids because nobody, even with the capital ship, is going to be able to AFK farm Thargoids.
Yeah, that was the point I was getting ready to make. Exactly, Nerdo. Like they can't really think people actually do this. Like,
right.
Well, Trax even said the day that they said that, he says video or it didn't happen because
exactly
can't do it.
It's not hurting anything. If you have someone in a Thargoid CZ and they're AFK farming it, who cares?
Exactly.
Yeah, but you know, I'm trying to be fair to them. Like, they are actually not saying to us, we think people are AFK farming Thargoids. They are saying, oh shoot, that's how it was because we wanted to prevent people from AFK farming conflict zones when it had nothing to do with Thargoids. Right. That's what was actually said to us. The communication error is that it doesn't include the next paragraph, which is, we really should have thought about this before. It obviously makes no sense, and now that you've tested it, it shows us that we should change this policy. That's it. Right. That's all that's needed.
I also don't even care that people AFK conflict zones.
But they couldn't. And the thing is, they send us that message and take that issue off the issue tracker as though it's solved. That's an insult. That's not respect.
I would agree with that.
That's an actual problem.
More to the point that they are out of touch with their player base.
Yeah.
Or that they don't actually play the game.
I don't know. I mean, you can say out of touch with their player base. I mean, they obviously don't play the game. They have a job to do. They don't play the game to the level that we do. They never will, and it's not a reasonable goal to say that they should. So that's why I don't keep repeating that personally, because I don't think like they should get so good at Thargoids that they are as good as me at them. They shouldn't.
No.
I don't care if they do.
And
but
no one's saying that.
They do need to heed our testing. Like if they're not going to employ our testing, then they need to heed it and not send us this disrespectful thing where we're going to take it off the thing and say working as intended. No, you didn't pay attention to the message just now. What you responded to was not what we were saying. It's not a reasonable read of what we brought to light, and that's the disrespect.
I mean, more to the point is that I'm going to disagree with you to some extent, because like if you're making a game, you have to test it. And I'm not saying that they have to, play it to the point to where, to the skill level of Trax or Chig or someone like that. But they, at the very least, if you make something, you have to test it. There's two ways you can test it. One, you can player-based test it, which is basically what they're doing, was what they've been doing. Which that means you also have to listen to the player feedback and actually, do the things they want you to do, or do the things that make sense.
Right.
Or two, you have to have internal testing. So to me, this is basically saying, yep, we don't have any internal testers. So when we release a patch to you, they're basically saying, here you go, guys, good luck.
I think they do have testers. They don't have
but if they're not testing the things, they're not testing it.
Yeah, they can't. They can't test something that is high skill based. They have to leave that to the community. The problem is that they didn't listen to what the community said, because they can go God mode and test it, but that isn't going to prove this particular issue, because their God mode is never going to show that the thing that the mega ship stole it, because they're going to one shot all the Thargoids.
No, but they just got there having LaveCon 2 weeks ago, where they had a room full of people who play this. Some people who are probably good enough to play it at a professional level, who if they were to go to it and say, hey, would you mind testing some things for us every now and then? If we were to put you on your own server, could you do that? Could you sign an NDA and do that?
We've talked forever about the need to have a test server.
Well, let's just get away from the testing thing. What really annoys me about this also is the fact that they launched a CG that involved collecting, AX bonds. And then they had the capital ship stealing bonds. It was like just a double layer of idiocy. Yes.
Yeah.
Without that, it would have been just, well, that's kind of dumb. But here, somebody might not even notice they were getting the bonds. They just came in flying away, not even noticing, and they could have been not collecting bonds when they thought they were collecting bonds. And this game sometimes doesn't show stuff that you're actually getting. They could have thought it was just a bug, and they could have spent an entire evening shooting bugs and been like, well, when I log off, they should be there, and then they're not. And then it's like, oh, we don't get bonds if we fight near the capital ship? I don't know. It's just asinine.
That basically happened to you, didn't it, Chig? Where like you were, because I think you were saying something like that, where you thought you were getting bonds, but you weren't.
Well, it was 2 episodes ago. These things got first put in.
Yeah.
Or was it 3 episodes? I don't know, whichever one. And we were like, let's finish this episode and then we'll go test it. That night we tested it and we realized about halfway through that we weren't getting paid. We stuck around to see if it was like a bug or is it this continuing, and we killed a whole Hydra and got nothing for it. And then we logged off in anger. And it took a few more days before I think Chig posted and came to me and was like, it's this, or maybe we popped online. Anyway, whatever.
It was the next
he
day,
said it's the next day or something. It's this. It's the mega ship stealing it. Oh, and then over a week later, right? Sally gets a reply about that, and here we are. And the response is, you should move things away from the cool new feature that we put in the game in order. That's the workaround. It's bad. It's a bad workaround.
The solution is you should move away from the thing that we added.
Yeah, and so we have not gone there anymore. We've flown in highs that don't have mega ships, or we've flown in mediums, and they're much better. They work much better.
Yep, it's complete. It's a complete failure of an event, in my opinion. This goes back to back to Gnosis, back to God. I can't even think of all the ones off the top of my head, but this is perfect example of them executing something and them half-assing it because they didn't test it. And then they won't listen to their player base whenever we're telling them the problem. So,
Yeah. Well.
All right, let's make that the last word, and let's move on into some more episode content, like, for example, the squadron briefing.
Incoming priority message. Squadron briefing.
All right, short and sweet. We've still got a couple of systems that are borderline overheating that we need to deal with. We have one ongoing conflict at the moment that is an election in LHS 3877. As of recording, we are ahead 2-1. And tonight should be the last night of our current expansion from 7 Andromeda. We are on target to land in KZ Andromeda just like we planned. By the time everybody is listening to this post-production broadcast, after Trax does his hours of post-production, we should have landed in KZ Andromeda.
Cough.
Yeah. And then it's kind of up in the air where we're going to head to after this. We're going to have to see how badly we have some systems overheating and how much we have to cool down, and then we'll start working on another round of expansion.
Very good.
And all of the details for all of that are in the standing orders in the Loose Screws faction channel. So if you have any questions, come and check that out and ask.
Ask before you do. All right. Do you want to do a Thargoid Bug Report, or have we done it to death?
We're bugged with Thargoids.
Yeah. Well, we haven't really talked about what's going on other than bitching about the capital ships.
All right. So let's do let's play the Thargoid sound.
Yes.
Love it.
There's some Jurassic Park level shit in there too.
Yes.
Great job, sound team.
Good stuff.
Sound team killing it.
Good job. Okay, so Thargoid stuff.
That, by the way, that is not a facetious pat on my own back. I mean, I took those sounds all from the game, and they did a great job. I don't mean a good job to me for assembly.
Jurassic Park.
No, but every time I hear it, I feel like I'm hearing little whiffs of like the they combine like a lion and a goat and an alligator and some other sounds in there to make the Tyrannosaurus sound, and along with some horns and things like that. And it's that sort of thing that it's in the same it's in the same oeuvre.
Anyway.
Oeuvre.
Yeah.
Okay. So just for the record, we have gotten oeuvre and cloaca into this episode.
And do what I can.
Yeah. Crazy talk. Guys, in your big words.
It's not that big.
A 3-syllable and a 2-syllable word. That's that more than I use. Well, bug report. Basically, everything in the entire galaxy is focused on 22460 right now. HIP 22460. This is where these capital ship conflict zones are. There's low, medium, and high conflict zones. Some with capital ships, some without. I think we talked about the high intensity ones. Have three interceptors come in not at the beginning, after the scout phase. And then you might get another wave, very rarely. But then the Hydra, on the high, 2 Hydras will come out. God, I can't talk. 2 Hydras will come out. In a medium, 1 Hydra will come out. In the mediums, though,
seem to get a wave of 2 interceptors, though, instead of 1.
To begin with, and then the 1 Hydra. But then you get 1 interceptor trickling in like every 10 minutes while you're killing the Hydra. So it can end up taking you forever to kill that Hydra because you keep going and killing the interceptor that spawns, which is fine. That's what we want, is to not have to be going, leaving the instance and stuff multiple times. So it's a lot of fun. Couple of things with this combat that I don't fully understand and they haven't acknowledged is the swarms are completely broken. They work everywhere else in the galaxy except in this system. In this system, the swarms just follow the interceptor. We even had last night, we had 2 Hydras out and there were 3 swarms. The 1 Hydra had a swarm that, kind of circles it the whole time, and then another swarm that was following it. But they don't do anything. And I don't know what they're doing with the game that causes that.
Someone speculated the other night. Sorry.
You're going to say the same thing I am.
Probably. That they have to do with that, but perhaps it was sort of an intentional thing that had to happen because when the megaships, this is the first time megaships have attacked Thargoids in the game. And perhaps the swarms invariably prioritize the capital ships because of that.
Okay.
So that was the theory. That was the theory that someone postulated, I think, on Tuesday.
Why have the swarm dead then? Why not just be letting it attack the capital ship? Because that would look kind of cool. I think the swarm
I don't know.
the capital ship.
Apparently that caused some issues if this theory is true.
Well, maybe it caused issues, and so they turned it off.
It caused issues is I hear no evidence of anything. Typically, like everything in this game, it's just a guess. Speculation. Exactly.
But do you think they'd tell us?
Well, you'd think there would be. I mean, I've never. You think that they've got a button that they just switch and say, "Okay, swarm follow now," rather than attack. They can't change two numbers on the price of something without causing issues, but yet they were able to hit a button to make swarms just follow in just one system. That's where I'm confused.
I don't.
Because it's local to the system, it makes it seem like it is. I guess we don't know if it's intentional or not, but we do know it is a change caused by whatever happened in this system, whether it was from pushing a button or it was a follow-on effect
in this system later, maybe.
Right? Or that.
Yeah,
I've been trying to come up with a theory, and I got nothing.
It doesn't make lore sense for them to be holding back like that, right? And making themselves intentionally weaker. So I don't know.
It seems
it's
like
just it is simply an observation at this point.
But they tested it. It tested it works fine. It's intended. It's working as intended, y'all.
Well, we don't have a message about working as intended on that one.
Yeah, we don't know anything about this one. It's just it makes I'm dreading going back to fighting full strength Thargoids again, because I mean I normally kind of half ignore the swarm, but now it's full ignore the swarm. It's like they're not here other than probably affecting frame rate at some level because it's a whole bunch of little bodies,
Assets still being drawn,
Why wouldn't they just remove them?
It's still pathing.
Yeah, it's still pathing. It's still, 32, 64, 96, or 128 of the little bastards floating around. So I don't know, man. I'm so confused. So, but I mean, as far as Thargoid stuff, there's that. They're getting ready to fire the Proteus wave, which I still am just dreading. It's just going to be a Galnet article that says, fired the wave and this happened. It's just kind of dumb.
Gnosis.
YouTube cutscene. That's what I really want.
That would be enough for me. That would be plenty enough for me. Or the planet rips itself in half. They were talking about that on Lave Radio as a possibility. Is what if, like when they fire it because it's down on a planet that, all of a sudden the planet gets destroyed and we have like a ripped in half planet for the first time in this game. That'd be pretty cool.
I mean, the prevailing theory is it's going to be on foot combat, which we have no evidence for. But like, what do we think the story mechanism for that would be?
Well,
if that was
the Thargoids in space here can't get down to the planet, blah, blah, blah. They're building this weapon. So they launch, foot soldiers down there. And then they do a Galnet article, begging for help to repel the, Thargoids on the ground. And then
suddenly the permit is lifted.
Yes. That, I mean, that I could see that.
I think it'll be, if that was the case, it would be either like the weapon does go off and succeed, and that's what happens next, or it fizzles out and they're like, okay, you gotta clear these bad guys out of here so we can try again.
Well, once they start trying to calibrate it inside of the Thargoid structure, which they're saying that could attract the ground shit, or it could wake up dormant ones that are laying beneath the ground and they start coming up out of the ground, like pitch black. I think Dio mentioned at one point, or something like that. Or War of the Worlds, they come up from in the ground where they were dormant. That's a possibility.
Look, I'm still hoping that the thing goes off and it pisses off a previously dormant Guardian AI somewhere, and bad shit happens.
Which we have no evidence for any of this. It's
this is
it's
all speculation. All
it's
speculation.
Actually,
it's all
I
the
think
delay
I have a little bit of evidence. I think.
Go ahead.
Well, it's all I hate to go this way, but the only evidence we actually have is console transfers still on track for September. I don't think any of this happens until console transfers are realized.
Yeah. And the August update being described as having narrative content.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah, I think I mean, I just don't think this is happening before November. This on foot business. And unfortunately, I'm taking like non-lore reasons why, right? I'm taking in real life reasons why. I think if I had to put my money down on the way this goes down, I think the weapon fires, and I think it does scare the Thargoids away. I think it would be sort of anticlimactic if it fizzles out. I think that would sort of suck. I think it does scare them away, and then we have a moment, we have some time where it's like maybe we won kind of business, maybe it worked, and then whatever's going to come next comes, and it's big and bad.
Somebody who knows more about the Thargoids than me, answer this question. But isn't there something in the lore about the Thargoids we interact with are like the rejects, the peacenik outcast of a far more militant branch out there somewhere?
There was supposed to be two breeds or something, right?
Yeah, there's not so much that they're the outcasts, but there's basically two factions of Thargoids that we know of. One is far more militaristic and aggressive, and supposedly the ones we've been fighting to date have been the more passive or more peaceful bunch.
But I think that's in a book that might not be canon.
That's true.
It's never been in the game.
So we know it is in the Elite Dangerous RPG, but there's a number of things in the RPG that do not translate over to the game. So whether or not that's actually canon is kind of up for there. I don't know if Dev has ever said officially on that.
So what if that is actually what's going on? This weapon fires, we drive off the peaceful explorer Thargoids, and they run back and get the warriors.
I love that.
That would be interesting. What if suddenly, you have the Thargoid motherships or things bigger than a Hydra that start showing up and they start getting really aggressive?
About time.
Yeah,
you're ready for it. Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. Here's the thing. From a gameplay point of view, I'm not sure how much they can really ratchet up the difficulty of fighting Thargoids without
a whole shitload, please.
Introducing more player weapons, modules, ships to be able to survive it, to be able to weather the storm, so to speak. So, like right now, I feel like that the capability of the spacecraft that we're deploying, it almost kind of feels like the Thargoids are like a tier behind. Like we're all out there flying tier 5 fighters, and they're still flying, or we're all flying 5th generation fighters, and they're flying 3rd generation fighters. So I don't know how much they're going to be able to ramp it up before we're in a situation where it's like we got to get some better weapons to fight them.
Well, all that you really need is just more mechanics.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It's not that we need the armor to keep going up. I think we've kind of gotten to a point where it's almost too irritating already.
Yeah.
But to have more complicated different things that have to happen in certain orders, or this guy comes in and he needs to be treated differently. It's like the heat relays on a capital ship. Things obviously I would want it to be more complex and difficult than that, but things like that. It's not just damage.
Or something like a concordant weapon brings down the shield, a special shield they have, and if you got somebody there, it makes things easier or even possible. Just things like that, just so it encourages teamwork. Makes soloing, maybe one that's impossible to solo because you need certain weapons and there's no way you could have them all on the same ship. Anything like that, just to, I don't know. I'm always for encouraging teamwork in my MMO. But I also would love just to have it complicated where we're trying to learn how to do it. I mean, there's this thing, why can't we damage it? We're out here trying different weapons and all kinds of stuff until we get it.
Same for on foot. When eventually that comes, like, I really, really hoping for at least this level of like interceptor level. You have to do these certain things, and and it will be neat because I was not part of the game when the Thargoids first came around, and it will be neat to sort of be part of this.
Yes.
I got to tell you, someone who was around during that time and playing, and it was kind of neat because you're sitting there going, ooh, what do we do? Stay out of this system. I sure hope they don't attack this system, because we didn't really know how to kill them at that point. Yeah. It was neat. It was a neat time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm hoping for a lot of the same. And just, I don't know, ramp up the difficulty, not necessarily the amount of rounds it takes to exert them, just how we exert them.
Things that require teamwork.
Yes. Teamwork, or a different skill set, or anything. Or, in comes like the swarm is super attracted to cold things. So straight up cold orbiting without killing the swarm, it becomes impossible. Things like that.
Like an evolution, like they learned.
Yeah, they stepped up. They're like, ooh, they cold orbit us. Let's love cold stuff now. And then, I don't know, anything. Cold seeking missiles. They're missiles, they got some fast travelers. But if you're below 20, you're like super fast.
That sounds so stupid to say, though. Cold seeking missiles. I love it.
I don't know. Just grab it.
What if the Proteus wave just makes the Thargoids susceptible to regular weapons?
Ooh, that would be interesting.
Yeah.
Not for long, though. That would get old fast.
It would tip the hand in our favor, wouldn't it?
Massively, yeah.
And then in September, when the console transfers happen, a new wave of Thargoids come in that are more difficult.
Hold on, no. I love the idea that, the Proteus wave will make them susceptible to normal human weapons, but a reward for helping with this is giving you Thargoid weapons.
Yeah, yes, giving you Guardian weapons. Yeah.
Maybe the typical AX weapons just do bonus damage.
Yeah. Well, that's been one of the running gags lately too. Is every time the CG, every time Proteus wave gets pushed back yet another week. Really? Yet another week? Yet another, and this is the third time now that they've been offering rewards of Guardian hybrid weaponry.
Yes,
when
but
the
they're going to be exterminated.
Okay. I was like, finger to chin.
Come on, guys, you're even trying here.
Clearly not.
Salvation. Work hard. Deliver me my Guardian stuff so I can power my super weapon and end this for good. And I'll give you a weapon that will be useless.
That you won't need.
I promise. You won't need it.
This is your collection.
What if the Proteus wave, like the Thargoids are out there and they're like, oh, look at this candy, and they just like suck it up and makes them more powerful, and then even our Guardian shit doesn't hurt them.
Well, I've suggested that's another thing that the wave could do, is it mutates these guys a little bit, like it's a power up of some kind.
Oh, like it's an antibiotic and we don't get them all, and the ones that survive are the super Thargoids and they multiply.
Yes. They all start having sex right in front of Teflon's canopy.
Right in the cloaca.
We'll be breeding those Guardian-resistant Thargoid bugs.
Yes.
Multi-weapon resistant, multi-weapon resistant bugs.
Okay. This is going to be a long one, you guys. All right. Do you want to do a quick catch-up on the bug report? The GPU issue, as I said last week, they told me it's hopefully in update 13. Believe it when I see it. Currently number 8. It's back down to number 8 on the list. The SRV bug remains. That issue is also in our show notes. And the CQC bug, by the way, which is risen to number 7 in the tracker, pushed me down to number 8. So take that.
Sucker.
But oops. Anyway, CQC. Anyway, they're all aware of all these. I don't know at this point.
So we don't have a sounder for the bug report.
No, what did we talk last time? It was like crickets or something.
Well, crickets would be good, or we just go silent for like 30 seconds. People think that the show crashed, and then we come back.
Oh man, if that didn't occasionally happen by accident and was out of my control, that would be pretty funny.
Don't give Craig and Giark any ideas.
You need to go dig
right.
up like an old dial-up modem sound and play part of that.
Oh, that's I like that.
And
I
then
like that.
static.
It's creative. Yeah, dial-up modem, like or like a fax machine, like we called the wrong number.
Yeah.
I can find that. Okay. I got to write that down. Don't let me forget that. I like that one. All right, let's do some in-game news. We're going to check in with the Bard.
On the Bard, the Tin Helium
Walls are melting. The furniture is melting. I'm melting. It ain't drugs. It's just fucking hot. Let's get this over with. Oh, and join the Discord. Welcome aboard the Tinhadium Express. Let's get to it. July 21st, Federation eliminates drug cartel, unknowingly about to undergo mass murderings, and a continued call to arms. Make big bucks killing bugs. July 22nd, reports from HIP 22460 confirm bodies continue to hit the floor, wall, and ceiling. July 25th, Azimuth incensed by vermin impassioned rapscallions, spewing hogwash and harassing their schedule. And on July 26th, Guardian Ruins can finally rest from all the incessant rummagings. And on the 27th, Alba Tessero is mad at Salvation and wants the whole thing called off. CG prediction. Wheels on the Goid go round and round and round and round and round and round.
That guy.
He's got talent.
Yeah.
I think that's the best one he's done.
Round and.
Okay. Well, that's that. Any comments on Galnet? What's up, Galnet?
I'm just waiting for the Galnet post of the Proteus wave hit, and then nothing actually took place.
Wah, wah, wah.
All right. Dev news. There was a Frameshift Live. They did their thing, their regular thing on the stream. It was today. And there was a little bit of news. They said update 13 is positioned for the second week of August. I don't think anything else was really announced particularly. Anybody else catch anything?
As soon as they said second week of August, I checked the calendar. No British holiday on that week, but the week after there is. So I'm predicting first week of September, we will have 13.
I don't know. I live stream, but I was preoccupied with the chat.
Like
Teflon started quite a thing.
Yep.
Like, what's up with the duration of all this? Like, mixed feelings on that. On one hand, this is kind of what we want with this like severe incursion sort of state. All the new conflict zone types.
Are you trying to get me ranting again?
On the other hand, it's like, well, besides the bugs and the bad design of the bond stealing, on the other hand, why make it so that you have all these filler stories in all these weeks where it keeps getting extended on and on and on, like making people lose interest in the narrative with all these pointless articles, seemingly pointless CGs.
It definitely feels like they've stretched it just a bit too far.
Yeah, I think it's convenient for them to keep mentioning the witch hunt as if that is. I think that was a something opportunistic because they had all these. They had all these paint jobs and stuff that they had in the chamber ready to fire. So I kind of don't believe that this is any different schedule than they were expecting it to be. But you know, is this what we want as far as it? Yeah, it's like a severe incursion in the sense that there's just a ton of conflict zones, but it's not an actual incursion, so there are no missions. So actually, this isn't what I want. I liked regular incursions better. We made so much money and got materials, and it was all very purposeful. from where I sit, I've got this weird thing where, there's plenty of combat out there. It's cool that there's new sort of systems and there's threat levels now, but I kind of wish that was happening in an actual incursion so we could have missions. And all the discussion seems to be about this false choice, I think, between salvation and the Thargoids, as though those are the two opposing ends of this issue. And that's not how I feel. So there.
No, I totally agree. Like you can want to fight the Thargoids and beat back the Thargoids without trusting salvation. Like that's totally okay to be like it. I don't think they thought of that.
They didn't make the Thargoids seem like a true existential threat to humanity before Salvation started. In fact, there were hardly any incursions, and they were cleaned up easily by AX pilots. And it's from where I sit, it looks like Salvation luring them is wherever the Thargoids go. I feel like he's causing this all to begin with, and I don't believe a super weapon is warranted in the first place, much less by somebody who obviously has this extremely unethical past.
Well, even look at the stupid poll today. They did that stupid poll during the show, and it's like, do you trust Salvation or do you not trust Salvation? And more people don't trust him, but he's the one killing Thargoids. Then it makes it seem like maybe we are pro-Thargoid. It's I don't know. The whole thing's just
It's weird.
Yeah.
Just because you don't trust Salvation doesn't mean you're pro-Thargoid. I like killing Thargoids.
Yeah, I enjoy the shit out of it.
Yeah. I also don't trust Salvation because I'll kill him too.
Yeah,
I mean, I could be accused of being bloodthirsty, but
he'll become a pope and you'll eat his ass.
I'll eat the Thargoids too.
Don't you think, like in this squad alone, we've probably killed close to the same number of Thargoids as Salvation has, and not nearly as many, human megaships were sacrificed in that process.
Yeah.
I feel like I have a much better record than that guy.
I got 10 billion in bonds to prove I've killed a bunch of these bastards.
Yeah. There's 4.69 billion in AX bonds on my ship right now.
9.906.
What's up, Salvation? You can't hang. We don't need a super weapon. Why do you?
I think in a game where they don't have a whole lot of binary decisions, they introduce a binary decision that feels very unneeded, unnecessary, and kind of came out of the blue.
Yeah. My solution, what would solve it for me would have been ever increasing incursions leading up to this Salvation story. Before Cornsar, we needed to have incursion after incursion after incursion encroaching closer and closer to the bubble and taking longer and longer to clear each time. That is what an imposing existential threat looks like. That is something that would have caused people to say, we need another answer. We need something bigger. And that wasn't established first. So that's my plot problem.
Yeah, it's almost like they were afraid to push the edge. It's like, something we've kind of talked about in the past is them, blowing up the bubble, however you want to phrase it, basically changing the face of everything. And it's almost like they were kind of teeing it up for that. And then they got scared and didn't do it, or they changed it, or it was never really their intent. I don't know, but
the incursion mechanic could have worked though. I mean, I don't think they even had to take it that far, but
there should have been missions here. Why are there not? I mean, there should have been all kinds of objectives here, instead of just killing them.
It also just kind of feels like, it almost feels like they pulled the trigger on this a little too soon. And they were like, all right, so here's what we're going to do. But we got these bugs that we found out. Okay, well, we'll push it back a week. I don't know.
Yeah, but they told us it's working as intended.
Yeah, I don't buy that shit, though.
If they just done the incursion like Trax was saying, where it's like, where it starts to feel overwhelming, there'd be more people behind the super weapon.
Yeah. It would be an actual moral question, right? This does seem like something we need, but it's this guy. Now we'd have an actual question. There's nobody out there except trolls who are thinking from a role-playing perspective, oh yeah, I think that Salvation guy's got it right. It's just that we don't have a choice. If you want to blow up Thargoids, this is what you got to do, and then you're lumped in.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think
damn it.
so many cool missions they could have had. Planet 9, that mega ship has, nothing but Hydras coming in, and some crazy mission where you got to go fight that one off. And then, an all Medusa one somewhere else. There's so much freaking possibility for cool shit here. And instead, it's just a bunch of conflict zones that don't even work like conflict zones work.
Or they could have even gone a different route and kind of embrace the whole explorer aspect. Like, hey, go get some samples off of these types of Thargoids and turn them in here, and bring these samples from here to there, or something like that. And so now you have these Thargoid samples, you're going to get attacked as you try to get back to the station. So maybe you have friends help you out or whatever.
That is some cool stuff. Yeah. Also, you're having to use your limpets or get in there and put this many rounds of a multi-cannon or something into it for research purposes. Could have had just doing stupid stuff where you get these objectives done for doing different things.
Yeah. Here's an experimental weapon that you can only use while you're on this mission. Go fire X amount of rounds and tell us what it does.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
And you don't have to do anything different. It's just labeled different. It's just a machine gun that's labeled as a experimental weapon, or because it doesn't even have to do anything.
Yep, I agree.
See how easy we are to please?
Yeah,
it doesn't even have to do anything.
It's one of those things.
Doesn't have to do anything.
Or what if you could, and they could go the trade route, because they want to do the three routes. Okay, here's the trade route. Go collect some samples and black market sell that shit. Go.
Yeah. Fine.
Go Han Solo.
Okay.
Should really come to the Audacious Dream tracks.
You want me to come there?
Well, Manituk showed up, and it's good, but I only have 14 Goss rounds, and there's a Medusa with 3 hearts left.
Crying out loud.
And then it completes this zone.
All right.
Go complete him.
I'll go complete your zone.
I'm waiting for Manituk to insert the heart for me, but he's
so I'm pretty sure we're going ahead. There was a hey, you get back to me if you find that.
I can't remember where I saw it.
Yeah, I can't remember either. Okay, well we'll just say then there was some kind of a player initiative that we heard about. I remember hearing about it, and he remembered it too, as an alternate. It's not Witch Hunt, it's a separate thing, but it was like a material gathering CG, except it's not, it's not official in game or anything, but it was a group of commanders who set up their fleet carriers with buy orders for these things, these lore-based things that they were going to try to use to oppose Salvation somehow.
I distinctly remember radiation baffles and microcontrollers, which is two that.
Yes.
Yeah, they're buying all the same things and they're paying a much higher price for it.
Okay.
Right. And they announced that before the CG was announced also.
Oh, you guys are in open. See, I'm not even in open. I'm in AXI.
I'm in AXI.
It says to me you're in open.
God
you're
damn
in
it,
open.
I'm in open. That's why I'm having nobody else is showing up here.
Yeah, I can't get to you.
All right.
Anyway, okay. Anyway, that exists. I'm sorry we can't find the link.
I don't think they've got a Discord server or anything up. They're probably talking about it on Operation Witch Hunt. So I'll see if I can find it.
Probably. Maybe that's the place to go. But if you want to do some play along, there won't be any real in-game rewards, but doing what we can. Let's see. What else is there to talk about then? Community Corner. Operation Hot Mess.
Rather.
Do you want to talk about that, Hate?
I'm really excited about it, but
no, do it.
Mr. Crash Harper is leading a group of screws so that we can help the Hutton truckers do our systems. There's information for that in our events calendar channel here on the Discord.
Yeah, Crash has taken it upon himself to really spearhead that, and he loaded his carrier up early with a lot of the stuff that's needed. So Hot Mess was run last year, and it was bringing a mug to every single station in the galaxy. But since they did that, Odyssey happened, and now there are.
We went from 56,000 markets to over 180,000 markets.
Yeah.
Instead of just doing mugs, they're doing mugs and Centauri Mega Gin.
All right, mugs and gin. Gin and mugs to drink it in.
Yeah.
Going to every station. So what's interesting about this is it causes every market in the galaxy to get updated, even the ones that are extremely distant and extremely rarely landed at. This time, my understanding is that they have an app that you can run on your computer while you do this to automatically get credit. And there are prize draws going out for participating commanders, including in real life Hutton mugs. And
I want to specify, they didn't forget about our console bros. There's a web app that updates via your Frontier Developments account, so the consoles get to do this too.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Everyone's invited. So, at Hutton Orbital, hang out with the Hutton Orbital folk and participate in the Hot Mess. What is that for again? Hutton Orbital. Wait, it's an acronym.
Hutton Orbital.
To every
Truckers
single station.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Hutton Orbital
mug every single station.
Mug every single station. That's what it is. Hot Mess. Okay, great job, everyone. Also, the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. Is this the real number?
Yes.
1-800-273-8255.
Well, that's
a new emergency number just launched. It's like 988 or something like that.
988. Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah, but you need like the lower Sagittarius arm zip code or area code, don't you?
What the hell are we talking about right now? I just said, "Is this number right?" And then you said yes, and I read it, and then you told me it was wrong.
Well,
I didn't say it was right.
Also,
to be fair, Data did not say it was right. Yeah.
Oh my god. Yep. Okay.
Chig Chat. It's a real quick.
The Chig Chat. There, I just sang it.
Perfect.
Tonight.
I like it. That's a good one. My new favorite. What was it? Just two things. Two huge accomplishments, both by the same person. Jay and Trax hit triple elite this week.
Thank you.
Yep. Good job. Keep up the good work. And this is your 101st episode of this show that you've been on. I mean, that's a huge milestone. 101 episodes, and that's tonight. So, thought I'd bring that up. 101.
That means last time was my 100th, and you weren't here to say anything to me about it.
Yeah, so this is the bigger achievement. We're always going to celebrate 101sts now.
It is one more.
It's like when we did.
It is better, yes.
It's like when we did. It's the 37th anniversary of Star Wars.
Yeah, we just go odd ass numbers. So yeah,
we're odd ass people. So
we are called loose screws, man.
Yeah.
So yes, it's a very large achievement. 101. So I didn't want to let that get by without bringing that up.
Cool.
Do you know how many episodes there have been in total?
I don't.
If you include the stupid interview, not stupid. People are awesome that did interviews with us. Forget I said anything.
Thank you.
160.
Let's just rewind that and take it again.
Nice save.
Doing my best. Okay. So yeah, that's all I had.
Okay. Rad. Nothing left except our random organic traditions of cheese and movie anniversaries.
Yeah, and somebody was talking about Pabst made cheese during Prohibition, which I think is pretty freaking awesome. That was foods that made us, or foods that made America, or some. I don't remember the name of the show. I love it. I've brought it up before on this show, but they did a whole thing about that. So that's pretty dang cool.
I don't know. Earlier when we were talking about eating Thargoid, somebody brought up Brie and mentioned you.
Yes, I saw that. That's a kind of, oh shit. All right, sorry. Somebody got a heart on that deuce, so it was doing a pulse, and I wasn't paying attention. Yeah, Bree and me and Thargoid poop and stuff. Yeah, carry on.
Okay, some number of years ago today, I have no idea what movie came out. Do we do it by the week or by the day?
Usually by
By
the
the
week.
month.
No, it's
The
usually the
month?
week.
Yeah, the
See,
week.
I'm going to
week
look this up.
as a show.
Movies released
Oh, I could do that.
today.
I have it bookmarked.
Then why aren't you putting in the
Because
okay.
we're prepared. We're very prepared.
All right, I'll tell here. This today is the 0 anniversary of DC League of Super Pets.
Black.
From the Warner Brothers distributor. Yep, that's true. Also something called Vengeance and something called Alex's War. Those movies literally came out today. It is the 0-year anniversary of those movies.
20 years ago, Austin Powers Gold member.
Okay.
The Super Pets movie might be pretty good because animated movies seem to be the only thing DC's capable of making that are any good.
Oh, there's a super famous one. 25 years today was when Han Solo said, "Get off my plane." Isn't that that movie?
I thought that was Indiana Jones.
No, was it Indiana Jones that said that? Might have been. Air Force One came out 25 years ago.
Didn't have his ticket.
No ticket.
No ticket.
No ticket. Yep.
We also have La Bamba and the Lost Boys are 35 years old.
Good for them.
I think Chig was in that one.
Yeah.
Bamba number 5.
Yeah, that's it. That's it for movies.
No.
No?
No?
No.
71 years ago, Alice in Wonderland came out.
I thought we weren't doing odd years.
We just discussed this. We do them.
We do
whatever
only
the fuck
odd
we
years
want.
now.
We do whatever we want.
Yeah.
You did 35.
Yeah, rad.
Odd.
Well, yeah, but that's an even 5.
Yeah, 5 is an odd or even number.
That's not odd because of our digits.
Is it a prime number, maybe?
Stop using your logic.
Yeah, can we do prime movie anniversaries like the good primes, the ones over 100? No, we can't, I guess, because of the course of history.
Given my linear understanding of time.
Oh.
We can talk about the James Webb Space Telescope if we wanted to.
If only film had been invented a few hundred years earlier.
Only
we could talk about James Webb. We could.
Yeah.
Has everybody downloaded the big pictures that are like 150 megabytes?
No,
I
don't have his.
I am super into the James Webb images. Oh my god!
I watched that.
Yeah, they're amazing.
It's actually it's kind of space related too. I think that's.
You're saying you approve us talking about it because it's space?
Well, it's one of those things where I've been waiting for them to get this damn telescope off the ground for like 20 fucking years. So,
literally,
look,
literally, yeah.
I like space stuff, but NASA's been talking about building a new rocket since 2001. We still don't have a new rocket.
That was a space odyssey.
Their rocket is really ready to go, though.
Yeah, aren't they rolling it out this week?
Yes, coming right up here in start of August, we are going to have a first test launch of SLS. Unless it gets canceled, of course, for weather or something. But
yeah, we visited NASA last year, and they were saying we're going to hit the moon by 2024. And I'm like, you fucking aren't.
You better not hit it.
We're going to make sure we do it on a full moon so we get it all.
They better orbit it nicely. They better not hit it.
It's a bigger target during a full moon. Otherwise, you might. Yes.
I can't remember what TV show that was from. But David Cross was on it. It was like a skit show or something. It was like a newscast from NASA. They were like, we're gonna do something out. We're gonna do something to get people back interested in space. We're going to blow up the moon. And everybody cheers. And the other guy pipes up and he says, and we're going to do it on a full moon. So we're sure we get it all.
Peep show.
Is that Mr. Show?
Mr. Show. That's
Mr.
the
Show.
one. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Throwback. All right. Any other business for this episode? Download the James Webb pictures, the big ones, and then put them on your big TV.
Yeah, or you're a big loser.
We've
Yeah,
given
do
this
it or you
show enough
fail.
of the business.
All right.
Hubble, forget Hubble. James Webb.
Old,
Long
yeah.
live James
Old
Webb.
and
Hubble,
busted.
what'd you ever
Old
do?
and busted. Switch to the new hotness.
Waste of time.
Upgrade your mirrors.
I'm Hubble
Stupid
Gavin.
Hubble.
Hubble's all we need.
Web hunt. Join it.
Oh,
We're starting a new Discord.
Yeah, we're gonna keep a Thursday show, but we're just gonna talk about telescopes.
Yeah.
We'll have to get Boy Cookson in here.
Telescopes and pens. That's gonna be our Thursday show.
Hey,
Beautiful.
Speaking of which, I did read an article this week about somebody who 3D printed a telescope. So, hey.
Wow.
The title
Oh.
of this podcast will be the Pin 15 Club.
Okay.
I think it should be there's a cure for that, but that's just me.
I got that data. I got it.
Thanks, Seth.
I'll get it if I
11.
listen to the show back.
Teflon 11, Teflon 13. He wouldn't have gotten that. Teflon 12, he's got it.
I told you not to talk about them guys.
He said they suck.
No, they're not done yet.
They're not. They're
Still baking in the clone chamber.
We can't.
All
keep
right, I'm going to bring this.
Bake
I'm
them or
going
you
to bring
boil
this to a
them?
screeching halt now, everybody. If you like the show, please rate and review on your podcast app. Do it. Do it. Join us on Discord. You can find it at discord.io/loose screws. And there's a merch store at loosescrewsed.com.
Do it, cowards.
Yeah. Like, what are you afraid of?
Plane landed.
Clowns.
What?
I'm afraid of clowns.
You're afraid? What?
You said, what are you afraid of?
Don't
That's
try
it.
to understand it.
That's it, everybody. All that you have to do besides checking out the merch store and joining the Discord is to fly loose and screwy. That's all I ask. Everybody, thank you for joining me, Chig, Data, Nurgle, Hate, Teflon, Ty. It's been
Which Teflon?
It's been something.
There's
Teflon
only one
12, you
here.
nerds. There can be only one, and if any of those other ones finally mature, I don't want to know what's going to happen to our friend here.
I have a whole lot of work to do if any of them. Like, never mind. I can't talk about this. We're recording.
Yeah, it's going to be a whole movie. Anyway, we'll see you all next time. Everybody say goodbye. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
And we won't be here next Thursday. It'll be the Monday after.